This is a story that came out in the New York Times, February 6, 2019. If you've been following me for a while, you know I did a story on Pennsylvania saying they were going to open up a safe injection site for drug users because it is just going through the roof. The opioid deaths in the city of Philadelphia is going through the roof, and the addiction is really bad. So they wanted to open up this safe injection site, which is not open yet, but it was supposed to be open, I believe, this month in February. Well, the Justice Department, they're saying not so fast. These sites are illegal. And I can't believe this, but I agree with the Justice Department. How are you going to let somebody walk in with an illegal drug and sit down and do those drugs in front of a medical professional? It's still illegal drugs. So if that's the case, why aren't these people being arrested? So that tells you they had to buy the street drug illegally and then carry it across the city from whatever location they're from, go to this injection site, and then shoot up in front of a medical professional just in case they need some Narcan. That's their plan. So it's like a legalized crack house, y'all. That's really all it is. A lot of people, I was reading some of these locations that have safe injection sites. A lot of people that live around them say they don't like it. What happens is after those junkies come out of there, they tend to hang around outside. They don't move on. They get into fights. They drop their needles all over the place. They said they don't even want them around. And a lot of times the cops got to come around to get them to move on. So they said it's loud. It's a terrible situation for the people that got to live around these places. And I can imagine so. But let's get into this story. The Justice Department is suing to stop a Philadelphia group from opening what some public health experts and mayor consider the next front in fighting the opioid plague, a place where people who inject fentanyl and other illicit drugs can do so under medical supervision. You can do your illegal drugs, just do it in front of a licensed medical person. You're all good. I just want you to realize there are people still in jail from the 80s during the crack epidemic. They're still in jail. They've been in jail for decades over crack. But these illegal drug users now got a safe injection site where they could just sit and shoot up all they want. No one goes to jail. A legalized crack house. The nonprofit group Safe House was formed last year to house the country's first so-called safe injection site in Philadelphia, which has one of the nation's highest rates of overdose deaths. Safe House had been planning to open the site as soon as next month, and a law firm has been representing it pro bono in anticipation of a crackdown by the Trump administration. Okay, so it's March, y'all, not February, March. At the site, a nurse practitioner and other medical provider would supervise and be ready to respond should anyone overdose after injecting drugs they brought in. The site would also provide clean needles, wound care, because they get skin infections, and referrals to addiction treatment and legal services. The concept has raised not only legal but philosophical objections from people who say they cannot accept the idea of medical sanctioned use of illegal drugs, even if the aim is to save lives. Their objections are similar to those made against needle exchanges when they first began opening several decades ago, though exchanges now generally have strong support as an evidence based tool for reducing disease and death. All right, so here's the actual lawsuit that's against the injection site. So it's the United States of America plaintiff versus Safe House, a Pennsylvania nonprofit corporation, Jeanette Bowles, as executive director of Safe House. So this was filed February 5th, 2019. So it's pretty recent. All right. So they're already running into all kinds of legal situations with this whole concept of a safe house. You know what I will do? I will leave the link to this judgment in the description box just in case you want to come over and take a look at it. Okay, it was not immediately clear whether Safe House would put its plans on hold while the matter played out in court. San Francisco, New York, Seattle, Denver, and Boston have also seriously considered safe injection sites as a way to reduce overdose deaths at a time when synthetic fentanyl is spreading and killing many who inject it, often within minutes. Deaths involving fentanyl increased by more than 45% in 2017 alone, making up almost 70% of all opioid overdose deaths that year. Yeah, and it goes up every single year. Okay, at a news conference in Philadelphia, William and McSwain, the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, spoke at length against the concept of sanctioning illicit drug use and questioned whether it would cut overdose deaths. Normalizing use of deadly drugs like heroin and fentanyl is not the answer to solving the opioid plague, Mr. McSwain said. In filing a civil rather than a criminal complaint, he added, the Justice Department is taking a moderate, incremental, reasonable step, and not, in my view, being heavy handed in any way. So I guess that's Ms. Swain right there. Representatives of Safe House said they disagree with Mr. McSwain's interpretation of the law and were committed to defending their plan in court. We have consistently maintained that our disagreement may need to be resolved by a fair and impartial judicial system. And Rhonda Goldfin, a member of the Safe House and Board of Directors, a lawyer for Safe House, Ilana Epstein, added, we are committed to defending Safe House efforts to provide life-saving care to those at risk of overdose through the creation of safe injection facilities. You know, I don't care what anybody say. This is doing nothing but encouraging people to do illegal drugs, in my opinion. You know, you may have a different opinion. I know they're doing it in front of a medical professional, but that still does not remove the fact that you are allowing them to do an illegal drugs. And, you know, they have given virtually everything to these junkies. You know, they've given all kinds of funding through Congress and the Senate, which we never saw during the crack epidemic. And they're giving them amnesty where nobody had that during the crack epidemic. And now you have safe injection sites. You know, I don't know what's next for them. An overnight suite in Hawaii to do all the drugs you want? I mean, where does it end? So the Controlled Substances Act include the so-called crack house statute that makes it a felony to knowingly maintain a place for using a controlled substance. But supporters of safe injection sites say they don't believe Congress intended it to include places that exist for public health reasons. See how you know what they're doing? They're playing semantics. Oh, well, yeah, we had crack houses and that was a felony to have a crack house. But what we're doing, this is something different. They can inject the drugs, but it's something different. No, it isn't. They're just playing with words. They're just playing with words. See, that's why they wanted this stuff declared as a national emergency originally, but Trump only would make it a public health emergency. So now you don't have to go after these junkies legally. They get to stumble around us and just exist and be a nuisance to everybody. And we see how many people they're killing behind the wheel. Oh, just keep them out of jail. That's what the goal is. And declaring all of that stuff. Nobody goes to jail. The federal lawyers working on the case include Joseph H. Hunt, the Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Justice Department Civil Division. It is definitely a national issue, Mr. McSwain said. Yeah, it is. But you're using those things just to shield these junkies out here. That's the only reason why all that stuff is being declared. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. A crack house was illegal. A safe injection site is legal, but both have one common thing. They were used for illegal drugs. Oh boy. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. I just think this is wrong. You're encouraging people to stay on the drug. Why would they want to get off of the drug if they can go somewhere and shoot up all the illegal drugs they want, and some medical person is going to be sitting on the other end of the table with some Narcan ready to go? Who would get off of drugs? No one. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.